Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another gold making video. Now today I'm going to show you how you can get the most bang for your buck and to make the most gold per hour that you can whenever you're looking to expand your gold making, whether that's in the same realm or off another realm. So basically, I'm just going to show you this concept of how you can calculate potential profit before you actually go into those professions. So this can actually be used for a lot of things. So if you're somebody who, let's say, only has one character right now, and there's another character who needs, let's say, like professions, and you're not exactly sure which ones to pick, or let's say you're trying to start up gold making on another realm, or transfer to another realm, or anything like that, you can use this method to make sure you're making the most gold possible. Now, this method is basically the same thing. However, we're going to be using two different resources. So just pick which one it works best for your scenario. And then, of course, let me know if you have any questions. But before we get into this, I'm just going to talk about a few things with my own personal experience. And then we're going to get right into the system. So the first thing I just want to talk about is when I use this and kind of what I do whenever I'm trying to expand. So in terms of just my main server for professions, so if you guys do not know, there are 11 primary professions. 3 of them are gathering, so that leaves us with 8 primary professions. So if you wanted all 8 crafting primaries, not including mining, herbalism, or skinning, you would need 4 characters because each character can hold 2 professions. And so definitely if you're somebody who's just starting out and you don't exactly know what profession to pick because you're only limited to 1 or 2 characters, instead of, investing your gold into a profession, then realizing it's all negative, and then, you'll have to disband it, which you lose your gold, and then you have to try to do that same thing over again. There are some ways and there's some spreadsheets you can use to make sure it is a worthwhile investment. Now, at the end of the day, you're always going to want those professions. So, if you are somebody who has a ton of professions or a ton of characters laying around, then pick them all up. One of them will be very good, but these are for the people that just do not have those options. Also, personally, I use this method whenever I was transferring to a full pop server. If you guys do not know, I play on a medium pop. My primary realm is a medium pop US server. And so what I did is I got a character together, which is this character right here, which means I could only pick, 2 professions. And then I brought an inventory's worth over of stuff, and I transferred over to this full pop server, which is Illidan. Now, because of that, and I was limited to only 1 character, I had to make sure I was picking 2 professions that were worthwhile, because, yes, I might be able to make 5k or sell 1 item with Inscription, but, I can sell all of the potions and they're all profitable with alchemy, so I should pick alchemy. So this is kind of when I used this method, so now I'm just going to get right into it. Hopefully this makes sense, but of course, if you need any clarification or any extra help, feel free to join the Discord or comment down below, and I can help you as soon as possible. But without further ado, let's get into this. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is calculating profit out of game. So traditionally you would open up your profession screen, but then you have the issue of that, if you don't have that profession, there's no way to see all of this profit because you can't open up that menu. For example, I can only see alchemy, enchanting, and cooking because that's all I have. So you have to figure out a method to do that out of game. So I'm going to talk about the first method real fast, and this is going to be for more of the popular professions. So for alchemy, inscription, kind of those simple consumable professions, this is going to be that method for this. So what I have is a few websites and spreadsheets to look at. And right now we're looking at Oribos Exchange. Now this is an option if you do not have access to your current realm. So if you are somebody who is moving to another realm, you should utilize this to figure out prices on that server. Also, the next thing that we're going to be using is this spreadsheet. Now, this is my personal Shadowlands Goldmaking spreadsheet. I have a few of them, which you can see are right here, but this is the main one that I use and I promote. So I'm going to go over this, but first we're just going to take alchemy into consideration and use that for this guide. So let's say I'm on a brand new character and I want to see if alchemy is worth it. So how the spreadsheet works is that you just need to update everything on this material sheet and it will update all of these tabs with profit, etc. So what we can do is, all right, I want to see some profit with alchemy. So if you are on that server already, I can go in game, look this up, and then utilize these herb prices right here. But if you do not have access to the server or a character on that server already, you can make your way to Ouroboros Exchange. I'm already selected on Illidan, and then you can just look up Widow Bloom, for example. Might take a second, but there we go. It is right there. So now I can go over here, Widow Bloom, and type in that price. But I'm going to go through this, and because we're talking about alchemy, the only thing I really have to adjust is herbs, and then I will be right back. Alright, so after updating those prices, what I can do is go under the alchemy tab over here, and these crafting costs over here will automatically update. For this, we're not going to be worried about old world stuff, we're strictly looking at the Shadowlands. Now, once again, because this sheet right here is calculating profit, what I will need to do is now input the buying price or the selling price of these specific potions. So, once again, you can go over here and look up spectral, find the flask right here and type them in, or you can do it in-game if you have access to that realm. But I will input this real fast and be right back. So after doing that, the spreadsheet will automatically calculate my profit per potion after the 5% auction house cut. So every time in the spreadsheet in general, if you see that like 5%, that is taking into account the 5% auction house cut whenever you sell an item. But as you can see right now on this server with the current prices, I can be making 42 gold per Phantom Fire. I can be making 27 gold per Spectral Intellects. I can make 17 gold per the Agility Potions. And then I can make a few, less than 10 gold with mostly everything else. The Mana Potions as well as the Stamina is definitely not worth it because it's barely green. And this one's also in the negative. So this is just a great visual way to see if it is worth it on that server before even getting the profession. All I had to do was have access to the auction house, and you don't even have to be in-game to do that. You can utilize Ouroboros Exchange, and then simply right there, right now, you're looking at to see if alchemy is worth it. Now, simply because of that, I'm making 42 gold, 30 gold, 20 gold per some of these potions. I would deem this super, super worth it, and I would definitely get alchemy, which is, why I do have alchemy on this server. So this is just a great utilization of these external spreadsheets. Technically, you can do this by hand, okay, this potion needs 5 Rising Glory. Rising Glory is at 12 gold, 12 times 5, 60. Let's see if the potion sells for over 60. So you can do it manually, but that will just take a lot of time. So now, okay, you're like, okay, alchemy's pretty good. Let's move on to the next. So, for example, you can do the same thing with Inscription. So if we do want to do that, I've already updated the Nightshade and the Death Blossom price, but we do need these missive prices, which I can actually just do right here live. So each one of these, so Mastery selling for about 175. Critical Strikes going for 185. We got Versatility at 200. And Haste is at 325. And if we want to quickly look up tomes, tomes are, let's say, at 150. So with that information, we can go over to Inscription. Of course, it depends on how much you want to buy of each. But let's say we want to buy this much. As you can see, right now, not everything is going to bring in profit, but Missives of Haste as well as Tomes are making in profit. Now, this spreadsheet is a little bit complicated. I would suggest if you want to use this, utilize my other videos that I have explaining this. But basically, this means if I were to prospect this amount of herb, I would be making this much profit if I calculated it or I crafted it into this. So for every 5,500 of these herbs, I will be making about 15,000 gold with tomes of the Still Mind. So yes, there is profit here. However, you have to realize how much time it's going to take. For example, if I wanted to do this, it would take almost 3.4 hours of crafting, and I would only make about 35,000 gold from this. So, I might get rid of that. There we go. It brings it down to about 3 hours, but then I'm left with 34,000 profit. So it's up to you, depending on Inscription, but honestly, that's still profit, so I might consider it. Then, for example, we have cooking as well, which the same thing. What you have to do is type in your materials for the meat, type in the price of each meal, and then there you go. You will have your total profit as well. But I will say this spreadsheet is only used for those type of consumables, but there is another spreadsheet for you to utilize if you want to get into the other crafting professions. So, for example, if you're looking for novice gear or trying to see if tailoring is worth it, there is currently no tailoring tab in this spreadsheet besides the tailoring one over here, but this is strictly just vendor shuffles and stuff. So I am going to show you guys this spreadsheet. Now, technically, this used to be a very old collaboration with another YouTuber. Basically, I made this spreadsheet and then he was going to make guides about it, but it did not get completely finished. The spreadsheet is there, but the videos aren't. However, you can go ahead and check that out if you want to. But what this is simply just a calculated cost spreadsheet. So this is not as complicated as the previous one, but this can still give you a very good sense of whatever you want. So for this, we can take into consideration, let's say, tailoring. And right now, as you can see, for tailoring, I will need to input these items right here. So penumbra thread is a, vendor item, so I'm going to leave that at 7.2 gold. Shrouded cloth, you know what, we can utilize this. Shrouded cloth is about, really it's about 1.9 because as you can see, there's not much there. So here we go. We can put this at 1.9. Lightless silk is at about, we're going to round up to 12. Arboreal shards, because of reputation, is at 100. And then enchanted lightless silk is at 50. However, I do already have enchanting. And so, let's see how much soul dust is. There we go. So technically I could craft my own. So this is like 8 for dust. And then, like 24 for the 2 pieces of cloth. So this is going to actually be about like 32 gold. But whatever you like, you could input that there. So, technically you could put this to 40. Whatever you like, it will adjust stuff. But, if you have 20, you can do that. Whatever you need to make it however you like. But now what this has done is automatically calculated the crafting cost of these items. Now, at the time of recording this video, it is a Wednesday, this was updated for 9.0.5. So the new crafters marks is not added. You will also not see legendaries on this page. There is a separate legendary calculator if you want to get into that. But everything else should be good. However, you will probably be missing those 2 crafters marks. They will be added eventually. By the time you watch this, they might already be added, but for the most part, this should be good for you. So now what we can do is, let's say we want to see how good novice gear is doing. So I can look up, shrouded cloth. Now, of course, I have to find the 87s, which are all kind of right here. And as you can see, the cheapest one is going for about 100, and the most expensive, or most of them, are going for like, 300 to 500, 600 range. So taking a look back at this, if we look over here, the novice crafters marks is about 16. We can round that to 17 gold each. And then to craft one of these items, it's about 40 gold each. So this is that green armor. So what you would have to do is just add this to that over there. So we can round this, 40 plus about 17. That's about a 57 gold crafting cost. Then, all of this is a little bit different, but even if at the highest price at about 50 plus that 17, that would be at a 67 gold crafting cost. And the lowest is down here, which is, not even 50 gold. But just taking a quick look at this, you can realize that it's not going to cost you more than 70 gold a piece. And the cheapest one is selling for way over that. It's selling at 100. And most of these are selling, for the 300 to 600 range. So quickly, just taking a glance of that, I know that novice gear is super good, at least the green novice gear, for tailoring on this server. It's something I should definitely look into. So that's kind of how you utilize this spreadsheet. It's not as complicated because there is no given profit, but all you have to do is kind of compare these numbers to the current ones on the auction house. Also, like before, you can do the same thing with alchemy. It is here. All you have to do is update those prices, and then you can compare the cost to the one on the auction house. But, once again, as long as it's less than it by a good margin, it should be good to go. And then, of course, you can do this with enchanting, engineering, inscription. All of the professions are here with everything added that you need to. Clearly, you can see this is not a fully up-to-date spreadsheet because eternal crystals are in here for 1900 gold. So the people who played in early Shadowlands definitely will recognize those prices, but some of this stuff looks super unrealistic now, which is why you just need to go in here and edit it yourself. But yeah, guys, that is basically it. I went through that exact same process when I was figuring out what I wanted to bring over and what type of professions were worth it for me. Everybody has their own personal choice and personal preference. So, 35k might not be enough profit for you. So you're gonna, wait on inscription or something like that. But I hope this kind of simple way kind of help you organize and get ready if you're trying to move servers, if you're expanding, if you're getting new characters, just making sure that you can visualize profit before accidentally investing into something that's not very worth it. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you join the Discord down below, like, comment, even subscribe if you want to see more, and like always, have a good day.